I'm your host, and I'd want to say hello to everyone and welcome you back to the Crypto Blitz, your home for your cryptocurrency dose. The Ripple of Van Winkle, it is the 13th of April, and boy oh boy, what a rush yesterday was. The market went through a significant amount of liquidation. Oh, I don't even know what else to say. The market fell down along with the dump of Bitcoin and a lot of alternative assets. Suffered a big loss as a result. USDT, or your stable to sitting at $1 is the dip over, folks. That's what you need to pay attention to here, is the dip over. We talked about Bitcoin's liquidation levels. We talked about where it would go. We talked about altcoins. We even showed you the XRP chart on this thing. We're gonna get to you again. We'll go over it. Is it over? I don't believe that April is going to be a difficult month, building up to May and June, which is when we will see a bounce. So without further ado, let's get right in and make sure that we cover everything. This is $67,820 worth of Bitcoin. When compared to its previous price of $3,281, it has experienced a of 2.99% in the past 24 hours. It is currently experiencing a decline of 5.27%. People have taken money out of the cryptocurrency markets and thrown it into the stables, which is a significant amount of money considering that XRP is currently trading at 54 cents. USDT and USDC are also currently trading at $1. It's down 8.2%. We're just around at 61-62 cent range. We are pretty close, if not at the bottom right now, folks. So the cryptocurrency market cap coming in at $2,493 billion. Where do we go from here? That's the million-dollar question. We're going to get into that in just 1 second. But I want to show you this clip. What is this? This is what XRP is about to do. Look up. That's the leader all the way. Back and last gets trampled, stepped on, but don't you worry, folks, because there is plenty of times left in this bull run for XRP to make its move. As we know, XRP moves last, but when it moves, it makes a violent move. As you can pay attention to this race, what is going on there? We go just to jump day. Binance coin coming for right now, it's simple. Here comes the Ethereum skip up, buy Ethereum, and then what are we going to do to finish off the bull run? We're going to get right past the Bitcoin. Do not lose any kind of hope, folks. This is not the end of the bull run. The heavy, we knew this dip was coming. We called it on this channel, we told you about the liquidation zones for Bitcoin. We told you the XRP buy zones where we could dip to. We showed you the charts. We even had Keith with his little YouTube video talking about this as well. Jack says, will Judge Net Byrne declare the institutional sales of XRP are not securities on April 16th? Here's Stuart Alderati. Take a moment to listen to this very quickly, whether there is a settlement on the table or not. We have stated publicly from the very beginning that this matter is, if the SEC makes it abundantly apparent that Ripple sales and distributions of XRP and XRP trading in the secondary market does not constitute a security, if they are willing to accept that the case settles and settles very nicely, the question that needs to be answered is whether or not they are willing to acknowledge it. There has been a settlement. Going about it, the dispute between Ripple and the SEC is rapidly approaching its conclusion. I don't see any clarification, and I don't see any reason why this would be the case. I believe that people are simply stirring up for engagement abuse, and to be completely honest with you, I could be wrong about this, but I just don't get why it would end all of a sudden. Yes, they had their settlement talks, but they always have settlement talks. You know it's going to end when both parties agree. Here it is going to be a fine. Ripple's going to pay a fee. Obviously, it's not going to be a fee that the SEC's asking, which is like a record. It's crazy. XRP drops to this. Ripple is highly valued in the industry. Another great moment when PayPal's Dan Schulman points out that Brad Garlinghouse is the best dressed person to enter the room. Brad is the best dressed in the entire room right now, so point that out. I like it. I like, by the way, you're in San Francisco and you've kept it formal well when you're the small company and you're on stage with a big company. He can wear cowboy boots. I'm going to wear. We're selling to banks. We're trying to impress the banks, but I thought, the banks are supposed to be, attracting you guys right well. It's funny, actually, this is a small digression, but sometimes we have meetings with senior people at banks and they'll be meeting with company in our office, and so they'll dress down. We are going to dress up since they are coming to our office and we are just missing each other. We are sorry, good old Brad. And it is always nice to hear from him. Bitcoin falls to a new low of 66,000 a day that is unfavorable for risk assets, causes all coins to fall by 10 to 15%. The chart is there and the decline is there as well. You know what? Even though I wasn't upset about it, you want to know why I was so happy about it, because I was finally able to get my velo, and I obtained it for a mere 0.1 cents. Indeed, that is the case. In fact, it was a swindle. Despite the fact that it did wick all the way down, I won't call it a hoax because you can see the 0.008 below. I know we are looking at the 7-day, but But if we look at the 24-hour, you can see the wick right here. It did come all the way down to 0.008. This is where it did wick down. I am wanting to make a really significant move into Velo, and I mean it's a penny. This thing could 100%, and most likely he's going to go to 25 cents, which is like 25 times what it was before. It didn't last long, and it was immediately picked up again. However, I am trying to make a decision. To tell you the truth, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm hatching up a couple of things, moving some funds around, but I think that's going to be my next move. However, before we get to that, I just woke up and realized that I had been liquidated overnight. There are a lot of people who are tweeting the same thing, but I just want to give you the point. What am I supposed to take away from this tweet? Stop using leverage, since they are going to eliminate leverage. You should not leverage, and you should quit these claims. He lost everything. Here's the clip from Keith. We showed this to you. We've talked about it, XRP, where it was going. This was all discussed on this channel, and we've been discussing it for weeks. We told you this was about to happen. It's just all a matter of when no one can time or predict the exact movement down, but what we can do and what Keith does. And I work with Keith very closely. He looks at the charts. He tells you the moves that are coming. He called this move months ago. XRP was going to go down, and revisit this 54, even 50 cents, even can go to 48 cent level before its next move up. And this is perfect timing because the halving is what, 10 days away. We always see Bitcoin correct right before the halving because everyone's bullish. You're like, oh, it's going to skyrocket. That's not how it works. Bitcoin has Bitcoin price retraces, comes back down, and then after having a number of weeks, the price starts to move back up. Does it just change any targets moving forward? No, May, June, XRP has to reach above 75 cents. We're going to see the rebound. We're going to see its move. Bitcoin is still expected to reach 100,000, 125,000, 150, and some others are even calling for 200,000. Here's the 100, right? Here's the 100. Please pay attention to this right down here. It's the 50 right here. This is the 200th item. Two exponential moving averages, the 21 and the 8, are shown here. I wish it wouldn't do that, but realistically speaking, that trend line, that thing hits like Kaleoji skunk, and it won't fall. It keeps refusing to give up, so we may get a little up here. But I think we get one more stab down whenever we get that stab down where Bitcoin makes its final move. It's over all of those cool now, and it appears that it's going to dig down deeper here and try to test them all. I wish it wouldn't do that, but I wish it wouldn't do that. I believe that this will most likely reduce the price of XRP someplace in this range, which is most likely within this gray box, and it will most likely be the last opportunity we have to get a price that is quote-unquote inexpensive. I just don't believe we have a whole bunch of down left there, so before she jumps the trend line, maybe we could back test the trend line a little bit. The trend line runs up and bumps its head at around 75 cents to $1. We'll analyze it later to see whether it breaks or not. I just don't think we have a lot of down left. Does not believe that there is a significant amount of down remaining here. Let me a moment to zoom it all in, and there you will find your buy zone. He called it, and we entered it now. What is the next move that is going to be made, folks? Should June be your next move? 75 cents, it is of the utmost importance that we break 75 and turn that into our next support level. The higher we get, the better we could flip 75. We could shoot right up to $1, $1.30, or even at the $1.50 range, which is beautiful. The closer we are to that $1.30 or higher range before the end of the year, the more we are going to set up the first quarter for the final parabolic blow off top, which is going to definitely break all-time highs. However, once we reach that range, we can begin to discuss the possibility of reaching the $7 to $10 zone on XRP. The move is coming. This was predicted. Why was this predicted? Because we knew Bitcoin was coming. Now we've been talking about this narrative for quite some time. For those of you who have been listening to me, you were able to buy the